Hey guys, welcome back. It is your favorite Gimp of the Limp, and I've got a little more conflict of heroes for you guys. Got a nice rainy day outside, so thought it'd be a good time to get a little more conflict in. I did have a comment that I wanted to look into, talking about the attack that I conducted up here, where I had attacked the gun and the truck and ended up taking out the truck and damaging the gun. And he was pointing out that the caps that I spent to increase the attack should have only helped one. And I was like, okay, well, I don't remember that, so let's take a look. So I went looking in the rulebook, and it's like attacking stacked units, and goes over all the stuff. You know, this counts as a single attack, and the attacker resolves only one spent check, and resolves a separate attack roll against each one, including friendly and enemy units. I'm like, okay, you know, use your soft or armor target numbers depending on what you're firing at, you know, all that good stuff. So everything that I had done so far. The mistake I made was not doing this. Okay, so this is the end of the page. And, oh, there's a little more up here. That's what I had missed. So let's flip this over, and I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. Each individual target facing determines whether or not it uses front or flank defense, which I already knew, and I kind of assumed that, but this next part, that's the part I missed. If caps are spent to reduce the hit number, each cap spent only modifies one of the 2d6 rolls. Up to 2 caps may be spent on each separate roll. So in effect, you could spend 4 caps if you were attacking a hex that had 2 units in it. So I could have spent 4. So in fact, I should have spent 2. Now, this one, it's not a horrible deal, so I'm not going to worry about retconning it. We're just going to go on because, like I said previously, I make mistakes in my favor and against myself, and unless it's a huge game-breaking like error, I'm not going to worry about it too much. And I do leave this stuff in so I can show you guys. So it's not like I would retcon it if I caught it and then, you know, take it out later and just not worry about it. I leave this stuff in because I know if I make these mistakes, you guys make these mistakes. Everyone makes these mistakes. So by doing this, it enables you guys to pick up on it, learn from my mistakes, and go on with the game. And that's the thing. Keep in mind, it's a game. You're supposed to have fun with it. Don't get so wrapped up in it that you focus so much on the damn rule book that you're not playing the game. Have fun. That's the key thing with it. So let's get back into this. All right, so I think we had left off with the Soviets when they had done some stuff. They are not doing exceptionally well at the moment. I mean, they have taken out one of my key units, one of my half-tracks, which I was very much sad to lose. So, but I'm still pinned in here in the town. I'm holding it with my units. I've been able to crush the attack down here at this flank, the southern flank. Been able to kind of slow down the attack coming from here, but this one hasn't really mounted or presented itself yet. It's done the most damage because it took out the half-track. I'm thinking I should have moved that half-track into the woods instead of bringing it around this way, but I was trying to have less targets going after it. It's neither here nor there. I made a choice, and it didn't work out well, but they still have more infantry that are coming in from this direction, and these guys got bumped. And more guys that are getting ready to come in this way. Oh, and if you haven't seen it, make sure you pay attention. I've got another one from Academy Games, the Agents of Mayhem. I'm going over their solitaire prototype currently too. So if you're into miniatures games, make sure you check that one out. So that's all going on down here. And then up here, we slowed down their attack with my cheaty shot onto their truck, towing the gun. The gun survived. It did take a hit, but the truck got blown the hell out, which is good because now this gun is pretty well stuck. If it had got around over here, it had a better line of sight, maybe could have brought a line in there, or it might even be able to bring a line in now. Let's take a look, because this is open right here. It's got its arc of fire right here because it's facing this way. So if we trace from there, oh, it does right where it's at. It's got a line of fire right through into that town going onto that tank. So it could do some damage, but I don't know if it has a big enough gun. Because let's see, that's 21 against, I think his firepower is 7. Yeah, his firepower is 7. Ooh, they would have to have some severe bonuses. Because that would only bring him down to a 14, and they can't roll a 14 on a 2d6 roll. But it's immobile Because I never said they couldn't shoot at the tank in the town, right? I never said that they couldn't, so I'll give it to them if they've got a good shot on it. But now I've got to keep the front facing that way because a flank shot would be against the 16, which would give them a 9 hit number, which is definitely something they can hit on a 2d6 roll. Which now, this is a thought for these guys. If they come around over in this direction, get a gun facing through this little gap, and maybe put one up his 6 so they have a line of fire going this way and this way. Because remember, for this scenario, it's pretty much about this tank. My goal is to repair the tank and get it off the board. Don't know if that one's going to happen now. I'm losing too many damn caps trying to repair this tank. All right, let me think about what I want to do here. Okay, so after looking at it, I'm kind of thinking there's a lot of stuff I want to do. I want to move around a lot of guys. One, I want to move this guy back because I'm really thinking this is just not a good position for him, or maybe even rotate him so he's facing that way, because I wasn't really thinking about it at first, but the position he's in a building, but he's up against this rock wall that is too high. So effectively, he's just facing the friggin' wall. He can't hit shit. There's nothing he can do from there. So I could turn him this way, but if I turn him that way, he's just pointing into the woods, which there's nothing there yet, so he really can't do anything. I'm almost thinking I need to drop him back because I'm wasting an infantry unit there right now. I could have them doing something else much more productive. But I need to turn this MG up in that direction, and I need to turn this AT gun down in this direction, and I need to probably move the half track. I need to move pretty much everything I've got. And then I've got an attack down here. We're really getting into the stuck-in part where there's a lot going on, and we need to do a lot of things. So I'm trying to decide what to do first. Damn, there's thoughts here. I really think I need to try to get that set of infantry down, though, and do something with them, because they're useless where they're at, but this gun could do some work. Now, we're going to go with a rotate in place as our action here. We're going to rotate the HMG first, or is this? No, just the MG. MG34, yes, the MG34. We're going to rotate him so his arc of fire is going in this direction now. So he's covering the back, because the Germans now know they've got an attack coming from this way. They've got an attack coming in from this way. They've got attacks coming from this way. They know they're on assault. They're being assaulted from all sides. So I have no problem like pointing my guys everywhere now. So we'll do that for him. That's only 1 AP cost, just because we're just rotating in place. That I don't have to pay. I think I'm right on this, that I do not have to pay more than just 1 for a rotation to turn him. So that's what we're going to do. Let's move him. I got to get my guys set up so they can start putting rounds down range. Let's see if he spends. Do not spend. Do not spend. Okay, we're good. No spendy. Now, let's draw a card. Let's see what we're going to get. They got green, which is good, because blue cards mean shooty down here, and I really don't want that right now. AI is trying to pass again. They've got one guy that's close to priority range. He's 1 hex away from priority range, but he's not in it yet. Let's see, how many active ones do they have left? They've got 2 there. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They've only got 7 to my 1, 2. I'm not going to count the tank. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's even right now. They're not going to pass. Rally. Yep. AI closest to a unit. They're pretty close, and they are hit, so we will give them the rally attempt. They are looking. Oh, he's spent. I didn't even notice that. He is spent. He cannot rally right now. Damn, did they spend? They must have spent when they moved up. Oh, well. I can't remember everything that happens in these games because there's a little bit of time in between them. So he is not spending. Unhit AI, closest to a fresh unhit or a fresh hit unit and a 0 defense modifier hex. I don't think, well, he is 0 defense modifier, but they don't have anyone who can hit him. This gun could hit him, but that gun is spent, which is really good for me, because if that gun wasn't spent, that half track would be in a world of hurt. Okay. Largest group of mobile AIs closest to a mission objective unit move towards. That's probably what we're going to do. let me think about this, because they have some options here. They can move these guys up. They can move these 2 infantry up. But if these guys move up, I'm probably going to split them at this point and put one into the woods facing down. But their range is only 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, they can just barely hit him and him. So they would only be able to put pressure right here at the edge of the town from these woods. But that would be useful for him, and it would take some of the pressure off of this tank, or not tank, gun. Move that guy up. He would have a line down. And the thing is, I kind of don't know what to count this little divot of hill as, whether or not that's going to count as blocking terrain or not. I'm kind of thinking it is. You guys put it down in the comments. Let me know. I'm leaning towards counting this as blocking terrain. So like he couldn't trace a line past that down over in this direction. So we have that, them, and then this one, which could get around up to here, and then start putting rounds downrange in that direction, because he's got that. I was kind of thinking of getting him over here, and I was worried about it at first, but now that I realize this is too high for him to shoot into, like I'm not giving him the line of sight on that. He's going to have to back up because he's just up against the wall. If he got around over here, he'd kind of have because this is too high. Yeah, you can tell by that little let me pan the camera down, those 2 little triangles right there next to it means that this is 2 levels high. So overlooking the town, and he could put some rounds downrange as long as they're not blocked off by the buildings. Oh, there's so many good choices. I think it's going to be one of these 2. Let me think for a second. Okay, I know this might not be the best choice because I really want to get that gun into the right position, but I'm going to go with these infantry over here just because they can do so much for taking pressure off of the gun by being in the line of sight themselves, just distracting the enemy a little bit. So we're going to go with that. This way, these infantry can start doing some work, putting some rounds down range, slowing down enemy forces. So we'll put that there and put that on there to signify that they're stressed. And let's draw a card, see if they are going to spend, and they do not spend. That works for them. All right, so let's see. What are we going to do here? All right, well, another basic maneuver I know I've got to get done because I've got to get this gun facing down this direction is going to be a pivot here. So the gun can face here and have a line of sight. Where is that line of sight going to go? Tell me, did I put that gun in a really bad place? I did. Let's see. Well, he can cover the road. Okay. So if the tank from here, he can cover the road. The way he was facing, he wasn't able to cover the road. His line of sight ran down this line of hexes. But by turning him, I open up that line of hexes so this tank can't sneak around the woods and get onto him. The tank will either have to go through the woods or just pop out in the open, but his armor is 17 versus this of 8. That's good. I could hit him on a 9, or better if I put some caps onto it. So yeah, that's what we're going to go with. A little rotation there, and let's see if he spends. Okay, I checked the rulebook one time just to make sure I was 100% correct about the 1 AP cost, and it is 1 AP cost. So just no 1 here, and we're good. No 1! Oh, I panicked there for a sec because I saw it coming in. It was right there. It was so close to landing on it, and I was going to be pissed. All right, so let's see. What is the AI going to do? Let's draw a card for him. They don't have anyone there. They're not going to pass because nothing's changed. And 0 defense modifier hex. Low risk move towards cover. I think we're going to use this one to give them the move back here that we know they're wanting. Have that truck bring him around over here. And he needs to unlimber the gun first. And in one more move, he could get to here, which would be a good spot for him. He'd have a line down. He would be able to shoot over this building. He put some shots into the back of these guys. Wouldn't be able to hit the tank from there, though, because there's a building right here in this hex, and the tank's kind of in the shadow of that. So we'd be able to hit these guys, and maybe these guys. I'd have to trace it out a little bit. That's the line of sight gets wonky, and a lot of these games have similar but slightly different rules when it comes to line of sight, tracing over elevation, on what's considered shadow and what's not considered shadow. And I can't be the only one that gets that shit confused sometimes, because some games have it to where the shadow is like infinite. So if there's someone in the hex, you know, at the shadow of something, you know what I'm talking about, if you're tracing a line of sight at an angle down, right, that any units will be protected by the interrupting objects. Some games have it to where you're only in the shadow if you're right there adjacent to it. Some, it depends. I think Lock and Load Tactical set up the way that you count how many hexes. So if it's like 3 hexes here, 3 hexes here, then it's going to be 3 hexes of shadow here before you're able to fire. Lots of that stuff. It just starts wearing on you after a little while, keeping track of all the line of sight. That's probably one of my biggest pet peeves. Now I get why they do it. They have to, just to have the minutia in the game, but it just drives me nuts figuring out which is which. All right, so we gave them the move. They've moved up. Let's move the stress marker over to them. Pull that off. Get the guy back where he was. And let's draw a card. And they are spent. Oh, that is horrible. Go ahead and flip the chart. Make sure we remember it. That is very much horrible for him. I might have to let them use a blue card to unlimber that gun where he's at, but it's so narrow here, though, because you got the rock wall there. I'd much rather get him to here, so he's got kind of the sight down. As it is, I do have a line of sight here to shoot them, but these guys are spent, so I can't do anything. This guy doesn't have a line of sight. It's crew. Yeah, the only one that I have a line of sight on them with is this guy, and he's spent, but they are within those engineers' range of 4, so they might be able to do some work there. I have to think about this, which way we're going to go with it. Okay, all right, I think I'm going to do something I've been wanting to do for a hot minute. These guys aren't stressed. I've been wanting to try to clear out the majority, the remainder of this attack coming from the south, just so they're gone and I can pivot these guys around and have them focus their efforts to the east instead of down here to the south. Kind of concentrate my fire. So we're going to take an attack over there. If I was 1 hex closer, I'd get the close range bonus, but we'll take our chances. I can't spend any caps on this. So 4 against his 12, but he's getting 2 for the wood, so it's a hit number of 10. It is a long shot, but we're going to take our chances with it on the hopes that I might be able to at least wing them and get them to stop being a pain in my butt. No, we got a 5. That was a complete miss. Okay, let's see. Is he going to spend? And yes, he does spend on top of it. So that was a waste. That was a horrible waste, but sometimes you got to take a chance and hope for the best. Let's pull this one off here. And yeah, we've got a little time left. Let's draw another card. The AI. See what they're going to do. All right. Execute counteractions. And remember, I'm using that as kind of a flank maneuver, get around on the side of the enemy. Let's see if they have anything else to see. Move towards, unhit AI, closest to a fresh unit that just acted. Attack. Then my guy spent. Closest to a unit, mission ejected, move towards, hit AI. Now, yeah, it's going to be a move for him because the only one they had that's hit is this guy. He spent, and they don't have a whole lot of positions that are great for attacking right now, not from non-hit units. Now, they do have this guy. He could conduct an attack. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He could attack on there, but that would be... It'd be the same. They'd be a hit number of 10. So it'd be the same attack. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, he could hit here. Now here would be a hit number of 9. Ooh, which one do I want to give him? Because it's either move these guys, keep moving these guys around down over here so they can get into it. But I'm almost thinking, at some point I just rush them across the field instead of trying to keep them in cover because it's going to take them so long to get around over here. Oh, I don't know. I don't know what to do. Now, I'm going to make a judgment call. I'm going to skip the execute counteraction since that's just the one-off. That's kind of my house-ruled version for that on the cards. We're going to give them the attack instead and have them attack these guys. That's really what they need to be doing, is trying to slow down some of my guys, make a breach over here so they can push their way in. So attack here, and that he's not getting any bonuses. He is in range, has line of sight. I'm getting 1 defensive bonus, so it brings the hit number to a 9. So 9, he will hit, but there is no instant kill for him, which is a good thing. He'd have to roll 13 for that. 3. Oh, weak sauce. You missed, boy. You missed. Is he spent? He is spent. So that worked out good. That was pretty much a trade-off. He spent, I spent. Yeah. Okay, and just because I like to stop him on my turn, just so it's easier for you to remember, I'll go ahead and pause here. We probably don't have too much left going on in this round. A lot of the units are spent. They've spent fairly quickly. They've only got a few guys left up there. Actually, 1 guy left there, and then those 2 over there are the only things that they have left that is not spent at this point. So I'll have a chance to get a few more attacks in maybe, but I anticipate my stuff starting to spend. But this is really where the Germans had that advantage, and I think it's such a huge advantage, especially if you look at something like this half-track that can fire 360, by the way, because it does have the turret symbol underneath its gun. It only costs 2 for it to conduct its attack, and it's a decent attack. It's as strong as one of my squads, right? It's for, again, soft targets, but it's only half the chance of spending as the Soviets. That's a huge, huge deal. In the old version of the game where you operated off points, they could get 3 attacks off with the amount of points that they would activate with, which is just a huge deal. But that does correlate, again, well back to the dice. They are not very likely to spend, and they can just keep boom, 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 boom. Now, obviously, if they're stressed, that bumps up to 3, where they're much more likely to spend. But if I oscillate it back and forth between someone, like one of these heavy machine guns, like this one's not spent yet either, flip back and forth between them, that's just brutal. 2 action points. That's how I got crushed in that infantry game where I was playing the Soviets trying to push into the town because the AI just laid down a wall of lead and took it all out. All right, anyway, that's going to be it for this one. You guys take care. I will catch you in the next one.